a lot of things are going on, so I'm just making sure that in case something happens, they will hold a space together with you, just in case I have to run into something or anything. But I wanted to be here with you because I love your work, and this is going to be really fun.
I agree. I'm really looking forward to it. Thank you for having me. This is such an honor. So fun too.
Thank you for being here. And so this is kind of how we do it. Is we make a little introduction of what doing good is and what is creative spaces, and then we'll give the floor to you so you can share your work with us. I recommend, if this is not an institution for you, to share your camera if you want to. I don't know if for you it's interesting that people see you when you're reading or when you're talking about your work. That really depends 100% on you. But that's what other people have done in the past. So just a recommendation if you want to share with the camera. If not, that's completely okay. We will record this session, so we'll have it by hand afterwards, so you can have it and we can have it as well as a resource and a case study.
Perfect. The only thing is that I am taking this from a car because it's the quietest place. My office is really loud and I can't do it there. So I don't know if that's an issue. If you think that that's, not ideal or anything.
No, not at all. I mean, I am.
Hi.
And now I need to show my face. Please give me.
Hi. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you in person. This is so exciting. I had never seen your face.
I know. Never. First time.
Yeah, I know. Like you see, I'm in a coffee place in the middle of the conference, and I'm kind of hiding of all the noise, but still noisy in here. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so excited. I can't believe I'm seeing your face. This is beautiful.
I know, it is exciting to see people's faces. I always feel that same way. And I guess we just do this from wherever we can, whenever we can, right? Like
we do. We really do.
Yeah.
I mean, the important thing is to show up always.
Yeah.
That's like my mini motto.
I have to say, I'm very jealous of you in Lisbon.
Oh my God,
nice.
I know. I'm jealous of myself as well, a little bit. Like, I'm really happy and grateful to be here and meeting all these fantastic people because in Web3, and that's what's incredible, everybody's so nice, so positive, so wants to build a better world, and that's astonishing.
Yeah, that's very exciting. I hope I get to go to NFT NYC. I'm planning on going. Oh no, I just dropped my phone. And meeting a lot of people that are friends now.
Yeah, I wish I was going to NFT NYC. I'm gonna get all the FOMO during that time.
I know.
I'm sure it's gonna be amazing. So, some of our team are going to NFT NYC, but we're going as well to Art Basel.
Okay, good. I'm in Miami.
Oh my God, we should definitely meet.
Yeah, and if DoinGud's gonna do something, I mean, we could plan something.
Yeah,
I'm right here.
Let's do that. Let's work for something like a public. We are throwing parties at NFT NYC at our Basel booth. Kind of gatherings, meetings, and all. So we're definitely going to do. But I also want to do something like smaller meetups. Maybe we do the same kind of format as a poetry jam with other writers and stuff like that. We can talk about it for sure. If you're in Miami, we should like.
Yeah, no, and I know a few poets here that are wonderful, both on and off the NFT scene. They're amazing. I'm plugged into the FIU, the Florida International University community, because I'm doing an MFA in poetry there. And my professor, I'm sure, would be interested. My professor is a Guggenheim Fellow, National Endowment of the Arts winner, and she's this wonderful woman. And she actually has been really interested in turning her poems into NFTs. So we could have a real like a stellar lineup of local poets. If we do it with.
That's amazing. And according to our provision, the first by Art Basel, we'll be able to experience the platform. Not everything. Not
Mint.
yet. Not
Okay.
yet.
All right. I don't want to ask anymore.
Yeah. I'll tell you
It's okay.
so we talk about it. What I wanted to tell you is like, hey Thomas, what we do normally is we wait for a few minutes. Let's wait another 5 minutes
Yeah.
and then
Maybe
we
I'll tweet
start.
about it. Let me tweet
Yes,
about it.
I'm gonna tweet about it as well. Yeah. Don't worry.
Okay.
I'll take my camera off. Hey Thomas, how are you?
Hi, how you doing?
Super good. I am in Lisbon here, running around, you know.
Yeah, I'm an Ana Maria fan, so I'm very happy to be here today.
Who's here? Who's here?
This is Tomas.
Hi,
Oh,
hi,
hi,
He's
hi.
Tomas. How are
he's one
you?
of our community leaders in Madrid. So
Hi, Tomas.
welcome.
Nice to meet you. I'm just
Nice to
tweeting
meet you
really
too.
quickly.
Yeah, okay. Hey, Ana Maria, do you have poetry in Spanish or
Yes.
just in English?
Tengo un libro en español.
No, un link. ¿Tienes un link free o algo así o lo
Sí,
vendes en Amazon?
es gratis, lo puedes descargar gratis desde mi Linktree,
Ah,
que está en mi Twitter.
buenísimo.
Ahí dice entre domingo y domingo, download for free. Y puedes descargar el PDF.
Ah, es ese. Ok, gracias. Me lo voy a descargar.
I didn't know you're also writing in Spanish.
I do.
I'm so
Not,
glad. I'm
yeah.
so glad. Okay, I'm quitting as well. I think maybe I create a little bit of noise. So I'm gonna mute myself, okay? But I'm right here.
Okay.
Let's start in another 2 or 3 minutes, and we'll start with the reading, okay?
Perfect. Thank you.
Of course. Okay, I think it's a good moment to start. I'm sure people will join in the meantime, and we'll have the video afterwards so we can go back to it. So, Ana Maria, that we're starting.
Okay.
want to give you a super warm welcome and thank you for being here with us. It's really inspiring to see how we're building multidisciplinary bridges and given opportunities to just meet these disciplines, like I said, to also grow in the space and to show that the written word is also something that can be digital and digitalized and that can open so many doors to so many writers with opportunities. And we're just really excited to have you here with us and super thankful, super grateful. And I just leave it for you to show us your work.
Hi, everybody. I am Ana Maria Caballero. I'm a Colombian poet. I've been living in the U.S. for several years now, though. I've been writing poetry ever since I was a little girl, but only began organizing and gathering and culling and editing my poems when my first child was born, because it's when I stopped working and I had that mental and physical space to really just focus on my written work. Even though my career, my job had basically been in journalism and government nonprofit type work, which involved quite a bit of writing and editing and messaging, right? But that first collection that I gathered was in Spanish because I was living in Bogota at the time. And it's called Entre Domingo y Domingo. And I, didn't expect much to happen, but I gathered it, sent it out to any and every contest that I came across, both in Colombia and elsewhere in the Spanish-speaking world. And to my huge surprise, it received the Jose Miguel Arango National Poetry Prize, making me the first woman to receive that honor. And it was awarded second prize in another national contest. So I was just really grateful to see my verse out in the world. I recited it in a few events related to the launch, and it was for me a life-changing moment. Due to circumstances, my husband's work required him to move to the U.S., and so we moved. And I began writing in English, which is, I guess, the language of my academic formation. So it was a pretty simple transition, I would say. Although I miss writing in Spanish, I was speaking about this with a fellow poet in the space who's from Chile, who lives in Patagonia. And how when you switch languages as a poet, you really switch emotions, you switch flow, you switch images. It's a whole different channel of communication. So I'm looking forward to writing in Spanish again, and hopefully making some more poems that I could turn into NFTs in Spanish as well, because I think the Spanish-speaking NFT community is particularly inspiring and dynamic, at least in my experience. And in English, I've published 2 books, one with an LA-based press, another one was a small press in Kentucky. The first book is called Reverse Commute, and the second one is called Midlife, and they're both available on Amazon. And then I have a third book coming out next year. This one was awarded the Beverly International Prize of Literature by a UK press, and it will be published by this same UK press. It is a nonfiction manuscript, my first nonfiction manuscript, and it narrates the story of an illness that my son had. And it's an exploration of Western and alternative medicine, of faith-based healing, and the intersection of all of them, which is where I think we find a happy medium. It's called A Petit Mal, which means a little bad in French. It's one of the symptoms that my son had from his illness. This book was also a finalist for 3 other literary prizes in the U.S. The Essay Press Book Award, which is organized by the University of Washington in Bethesda. The Tarpaulin Sky Book Awards, which is an independent press, and then another independent press called Split Lip also ranked it as a finalist in their annual contest. And right now I'm working on a manuscript called Mammal. It's actually ready to send out into the world, and I have been sending it out into the world. And like much of my work, this manuscript seeks to rip the veil off of romanticized motherhood and to question notions that seek to package female sacrifice as a virtue. A lot of my work seeks to give voice to that small, intimate, private female voice of the home, where sometimes we are used to taking on a heavier load or used to doing more than our male counterparts because it is what people consider normal. And a lot of my work questions that and seeks to change that too by validating this voice that across history has been taught to not hold itself valuable, right? It's been gaslit, that awful term that summarizes so much of the emotions of other suppressed groups across history. And I encountered NFTs about 3.5 months ago only, actually. I had been transforming my poems into video poems and posting them on social media, just because I felt that once I published a work, the life of it was so brief and there wasn't much interaction with other people, other poets, readers. It's a very silent and solitary act. So social media, even though sometimes there's a lot of noise, you do get to cut through it and really connect with people. And if anything that I've learned in the NFT space is that there's just wonderful people looking to connect with each other's work and support each other, and I really value that. So somehow I was invited to join Art Chick's Ether Poems, which launched in July. And it was so exciting to share my poetry virtually. I had never read a poem on Clubhouse or on Twitter Spaces. I hadn't really used my Twitter account for many years, to be honest. I was just on Instagram. And it's been a wonderful experience so far. I have NFTs on Foundation. I have NFTs on Hicket Nunk. I have NFTs coming soon, I hope, on DoinGud. I'm on Known Origin. I'm also an async. And actually, my only 2 poems that I have available right now are with galleries, NFT galleries. One is with Fort Gallery that works on the Hicket Nunk platform, and the other one is Monogramma, which is a gallery that designates 30% of all sales to social impact projects. So those are my only 2 available NFTs right now. And then I have a story in verse that I minted onto Async Art's 24-hour canvas. So a new frame and new artwork is revealed each hour on the app over 24 hours automatically. And the way I used the canvas was to tell a story, a cyclical story of a day in a woman's life as she sort of grapples with emotions of failure and neglect and frustration and that small voice again, coming forward and taking what I consider its due value, due merit. So that's a bit about me and my work.
Thank you so much for sharing with us. What a beautiful story, and so many things that you're doing, and so wonderful, and so nice to know that you've been awarded, for sure. So thank you for sharing. Now, I think that what we want the most is to hear your beautiful words. So can you please share with us some of that?
Sure. maybe I'll read Fruition, which is the most complex poem that I've launched as an NFT. I thought about it probably 1,000 times before doing so, but I wanted to do something complex and long, which requires a lot of time and attention from the audience. I'll give this poem a little bit of context. The poem's speaker is cooking a complex dish, which she knows will make a huge mess in her kitchen. And so the speaker takes this as a point of departure to question more philosophical notions, which a lot of my poems do. They start with the mundane, and then they take that as sort of like a trampoline to look into more philosophical and harder questions, which is how our minds work, right? One minute we're cooking lunch, and the next we're wondering what the meaning of life is. So she's saying, what is this in me that at the same time seeks adventure and needs order? Like, why do I need my kitchen to be clean? And why do I need an exuberant dish? Why can't I grill tortillas? And so it uses two philosophers that I like. One is Ralph Waldo Emerson, who's an American philosopher who invited sort of a freedom of thought in the sense of don't constrain yourself and organize everything, and let's live in nature. He's got this really famous essay called The American Scholar that says, what is this need of the mind to categorize everything? Like, why can't we just be out in nature and not count every leaf and not name every leaf? And then I juxtapose that with Goethe, who's probably one of the most famous German philosophers, who in his work Faustus also pokes fun of our human need for adventure and for knowing everything. So Faustus launches with God surrounded by his angels, and the angels are all like fawning over God, saying, "Oh God, you've created this most wonderful land. Really, you outdid yourself. This is just like the cream of the crop." And then we have Mephistopheles, the devil, saying, "Well, I'm not so sure this is so great. I've been hanging out with man, and there's a lot to say, a lot to be wished for in man." And God's like, no. If you need a perfect example, go hang out with Faustus. He is a perfect man. Like, you cannot corrupt him. And of course, the devil goes and makes a deal with Faustus. And Faustus, what he wants is to experience everything there is to experience. He doesn't want wealth, but he just wants to live everything. He wants to be at Cleopatra's coronation. He wants to be in every major historical event. And of course, making a deal with the devil is always a dangerous thing. And the poem finally finds solace in the historical figure of Carl Linnaeus, who was the inventor of the binomial system of naming the world, right? He named the entire world. He named plants. He named us Homo sapiens. But at the same time, his own life story is absolutely fantastic. And it's a biography that I really recommend reading as an audiobook, even listening to it, the story of Carl Linnaeus. So anyway, I just love talking about the history of this poem. Probably got carried away, but I will read you the poem, which is called Fruition. And this one, like I said, is with Monogram Art Gallery on Foundation. Okay, here, I will read it. Fruition. There must be a right way to chop cauliflower, one that doesn't spew a million tiny florets all over the kitchen counter like so many clots of beige blood bursting from a zero-gravity wound. You see, I have this problem whereby I can't stand mess anymore, which is a problem because Emerson says it's a problem. This need of my mind to categorize, though I can't help the despair I feel, which must look like rage to my children, when I see burnt turmeric all over the stove before sitting down to eat. I know what you're thinking. Why not heat up tortillas? But I have this other problem, which is I crave tikka masala every week. And that's a problem, because Goethe says it's a problem. This need of my mind to live full at all cost. So I mince ginger and onion, though the skins and rinds drive me nuts. Even crazier, I'll oversprinkle cumin and coriander until they jet out of the pan. Because come on, live a little. But then immediately, I must sponge it up. So I wonder if I'm the secret villain from a Telemundo soap opera who won't just chill and grill tortillas, but instead must wreck the lives of other people. Here, other people's lives, a metaphor for tikka masala. But you got that, of course. And the mess in my kitchen isn't so bad as the rush in my brain to tidy it up. Not as bad as how my opposing problems collide, my desire for explosive mixtures of spices bang against my fixation for impeccable counters. Now you see why I must turn and return to Linnaeus, who tells me it's fine to catalog every crumb while I concoct a categorically unsortable life.
Wow, that was beautiful. Thank you so much. Any thoughts, everyone who's joined? Do you have any thoughts or words of love for dear Ana Maria?
That was my favorite poem. So I was lucky to hear you to live, so thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Maybe I'll read the one that I submitted to DoinGud.
Oh,
What do you think?
Yes, please do. Yes, of course, please.
Okay, this is a much more sort of lyrical, maternal poem. The other one is much more like philosophical. Okay, this one is called Waiting Room. 26 weeks ago, you entered my belly as an invisible coin. Now, I bump into walls with your bulge, spill soup on you, prop my elbows across your arched loins. Nina, our space is this one evening as minute in a moonlit room. I invite you to take over as you do. Exhaust me as you do. 14 more weeks, child, to crowd my organs flat, to know absolute privacy, to witness the secret of my swollen eye, to collect my voice with the web of your hands. Tú, yo, tuyo. Only once will I allow you to see this, Nina, this one collapse by the cage of your crib. Is my shaking waking you? Don't think it common. It is just the waiting that does this. Not for you, no. I wait for me, for the mother in me to take care of me, to birth me and bathe me and put me to sleep here in your room, where the moon primes my womb, so I may rise to receive you, reliable as a worn wooden spoon. Thank you.
So beautiful. Thank you so much, Ana Maria. I really, really, really appreciate hearing your words. I know here Cody, Tomas, Mel, everyone's really valuing hearing your words, hearing your art.
Oh, I love it. I love sharing it with you guys. Thank you for this space.
Of course. Cody, I think you're trying to say something. I can't hear you. Can you hear Cody? Oh. Oh, I couldn't hear him. Can you hear him?
No, me neither. No.
Okay. I'll send him a DM for him to share his comments on the Discord. Actually, I really want to maintain the beauty of what you just shared with us. So, if you want to share more of your work with us, that would be fantastic. And if not, if you're satisfied with this, I'm super satisfied. I mean, I really adore your work. We will we'll wrap it up, but please, if you can share a little bit more, that'd be lovely.
Sure.
Yeah.
Let me see. I have a series that I'm doing now for known origin. I could read a poem from there if you like. It's a these poems are short and simple, and they're called, the collection is called Blueprint. And they're instead of asking sort of what a roadmap is, these poems as a collection invite readers to consider, not where art is going, but where art comes from. And it takes blueprint as a symbol of that, right? Because blueprint is what we use to build the world around us. It's the essence, the origin of the foundation of everything, are the blueprints. So the poems graphically are united by very subtle blueprint images in the background. And they're all linked thematically, but it's not an overt theme. They're all about why I write, and also about how writing is almost an inevitable practice, and one that sometimes I even question, like if I want to keep doing it, because it is a solitary, arduous craft at times. So this is the poem that I'll be releasing, I guess, or sharing next. It always sounds funny to say I'm dropping a poem, but I will be releasing or sending out into the world next. It's called Natural Selection. Bodies approach the counter in pairs, request coffee, tea, and, since it's Saturday, world pastries. My children are tucked in courses I raked the internet to find. My husband is traveling. I have a friend out there, maybe 3, but none are with me. It's March in a Florida, packed with northerners. People act happy. I could be with my kids, certainly. Be within life instead of outside it. Pouring another morning into the old question. Would my days be better if I didn't write? So that's Natural Selection. I can read another one if you'd like of that collection, just to give more of a feel for what I'm doing there. This one I released it over the weekend, and it sold out, which was a big surprise, but very exciting. And it's called Litany in D minor. So D minor, according to many musicians, is the saddest chord. So that's why I picked it. Litany in D minor. In the bedroom of my midlife, I summon God each night. What God? How it feels. My skin shrinks from air, wishing to recede into another realm. But I cannot know what it means. I have no say in the way I arrive, night after night, to beg of this screen an answer, to offer to that factual world of other as justification, yes, but also so God is my witness as gift.
Crazy, dude.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing with us. So wonderful. Let me know if you'd like to continue.
I don't know. I mean, I think even if I don't know, you're tired of listening to me talk. I could probably read one more. I don't know, and then we can each sort of have a wonderful day. I don't know.
Yeah.
Is there any questions or comments?
We're already having a wonderful day by listening to you. But yes, please one last, and then we'll let anyone that wants to make any questions do them if they want. Hey, further folks, by the way. And after that, we'll continue to have a wonderful day.
Great. Okay, I'm gonna read the poem that I have on Fort Gallery on Hikat Nunk. This is one of my, it works more with my collection of my mammal poems, which are about, the female role in the home. This one is called Tumbler. Tumbler. Male drinks. Female funnels blood to their embryonic face. Drink drops. Acute juice hoards man's narrow, staying throat. Drink robs. Silent plunder. Daybreak. Eggs fried for little boy alone. Drink not. Contained verse. Metronome meets the breadth of grocery stores. Drink blocked. Headache weight. Yesterday governs discourse as remorse. Drink sops. Hydration claims energy to reconfigure mind. The present dries. She exists. Intimate device. Domesticated by the impending hulk of life.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ana Maria, for being here, for sharing your art with us, for letting us experience your universe. It is a pleasure to hear you. It is a pleasure to read you. And I just wish this pleasure for everyone. So I think we're going to wrap it up. If anyone has any questions, this is a good moment to ask Ana Maria. Maybe Tom, you have any questions since you're a big fan?
Well, I just want to ask you. I'm not a big poet, I write just for myself, and of course, I write in Spanish for myself. But I want to know more about the transition because when I was in school, they taught us like write poetry in Spanish, and you have certain rules. And does that rules apply when you write poetry in English, or do you learn from the beginning, or do you do like a free writing without like such as rules, or how was the transition?
I think that it's always good to know the rules. It's always good to know where, the tradition, where it comes from and what's been done. It's definitely valuable, but I also think that poetry has fortunately evolved past that. And now free verse rules, really. If you open up any, significant poetry journal, you'll see that there's all sorts of poetry in there. You're not going to find a series of sonnets or formal quatrains or, you know, villanelles. You're going to find some experimental, but free verse. People talking about the daily life in forms that rhyme or don't rhyme or adhere or don't adhere to meter. So I think that it's an open world for you as a poet. And I also think that no thought and no topic should be taboo or too small or insignificant. Like if you want to write about what you had for breakfast, go for it. Many poets do, right? Like William Carlos Williams is a good place to start and see what he did. And he, you know, he's one of the major figures of American poetry, and he wrote about simple little things, the everyday.
Do you have your own rules when you write poetry? Now that you say that you write like free, without songs.
Well, I do like rhyme. Not everyone does, but I do kind of like the hypnotic and mnemonic effects of rhyme, how it starts getting under your skin. And I value that. And so I don't, you know, do evident rhyme. But if you looked at the poem, for example, that I submitted to DoinGud, it does have rhyme in it. There's the womb, the spoon. And I feel like all that just sets a mood, right? Like you get into the dance of the poem. But that's just me. I like it. Not everyone does. And not every poem, right? Some poems don't. I don't rhyme in.
Thank you. I like it a lot. I really like it.
Thank you, Tomas. Where are you from?
I'm from Caracas.
Yeah. Nice. We're neighbors.
Yeah, now I'm living in Madrid.
Nice. Good.
I was going to ask, I'm sorry to cut you, because I am also a writer, and I also write in Spanish. And for me, even though I speak English all the time, it's still a little bit tricky to find the expression in English, if you know what I mean. How did you do that jump?
You know, Michaela, I think it's because I lived in the U.S. For a while, so the language gets into you. Otherwise, I would agree that it's very difficult to really get behind the scenes of the language so that you can apply it to your poetry. But there's lots to be done with poetry in Spanish. You know, to begin, and again, you can just start writing about simple things in English, and you know, I think the idea of a poem, like the poetic moment, like when it's born, if you jot something down, even if you go back and edit it, but if you capture sort of like that burst, it's usually keeps, right? It usually preserves itself, and the poem will have that spark of life. So I guess it's just a matter of writing, of making it a discipline. It's an art that requires a lot of sort of devotion.
Yeah, and definitely consistency for sure. I think that it's also for me personally, I see writing as healing, because it's my way that I can overview my own self, and I really love that. But yeah, when I hear your poetry in English, I really try to figure out how. I mean, I do my poetry in Spanish and I love it, but again, English is the one that will get to the most audience, I guess. But also, like, that makes me, just posing this question to you, makes me wonder why Spanish poetry cannot get to everyone, and I think it can. So it's really lovely that, you know, hearing you inspires me a lot. So I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, that's awesome. I'm happy to read anything if you ever want to share too. It's an open door.
Thank you. Thank you. I will. Yes, I really love that. I actually love for you to read some of my poetry, and I don't know, just hear what you think about it. And I think it'd be really valuable for me. So thank you for that.
Amazing.
Thank you. And yeah, I I wanna close the session again, being super grateful to you for sharing all this beautiful work with us, inspiring many of us. And I just want to, like I said before, I wish this pleasure to everyone. So thank you for being here. Thank you for everyone that's joined. We've recorded this session, so in the future, anyone can hear you. And thank you for being here. And thank you for all for being with us.
Thank you all, and just so you know, small intimate readings are my favorite. I love it when you know everyone in the room. You feel like it's a little family. I love that. So thank you. This was wonderful. This is great, and I'm happy to have chatted with Tomas a little bit, and I know Mel is there, and you, Micaela, and then having met Guarang and Sanchit. Thank you, and Further Fox. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Ana Maria, and yes, it was really an intimate gift, and thank you so much for that. And see you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.